Today, we're going to uncover 10 powerful characteristics that wealthy men in the Bible shared, traits that didn't just make them rich, but made them right before God. And if you truly understand and apply these, you won't just pursue wealth. You'll build a life that can actually sustain. The first and most important trait is faith, not casual belief, but deep, unshakable trust in God. Abraham is one of the clearest examples. He was already wealthy, yet when God told him to leave everything familiar, his land, his security, his comfort, he obeyed without hesitation. That kind of faith doesn't come from having money. It comes from knowing God is your true source. Job also lived this out. Even after losing his wealth, his children, and his health, he said, "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away." That's a mindset most people struggle to reach. This teaches us something powerful. If your faith depends on your wealth, it will collapse when challenges come. But if your faith is rooted in God, you can lose everything and still stand strong. Build your life on God, not on what you have. Wealthy men in the Bible didn't just accumulate, they gave. Boaz was a wealthy landowner, yet he noticed Ruth, a poor widow, and intentionally made provision for her. He told his workers to leave extra grain behind so she could gather more. That wasn't obligation, it was compassion. Then there's Zacchaeus. After encountering Jesus, he didn't hesitate. He gave half of his possessions to the poor and repaid those he had wronged. This shows that true wealth isn't about how much you hold. It's about how willing you are to release it. Generosity breaks the grip of greed and aligns your heart with God. If your wealth can't help others, then it's not really a blessing. It's a burden. One of the most dangerous traps of wealth is pride. But the men we're studying refused to fall into it. Abraham, despite his riches, referred to himself as dust and ashes before God. That's humility at its core, recognizing that everything you have comes from him. Job also humbled himself, even when he didn't understand his suffering. He didn't accuse God, he submitted to him. Humility protects your destiny. The moment wealth makes you feel superior, you begin to lose the very thing that made you trustworthy. Stay grounded, stay teachable, because God lifts those who remain humble. Wealth didn't make these men independent from God. It made them more responsive to him. Abraham didn't just believe God. He acted on what God said, even when it was difficult or unclear. Joseph of Arimathea also showed obedience and courage by publicly identifying with Jesus and requesting his body for burial. That decision could have cost him his reputation and influence. Obedience is what separates people who admire God from those who truly follow him. If you want to handle greater blessings, you must be willing to obey, even when it's uncomfortable. Joseph also demonstrated incredible wisdom. He interpreted Pharaoh's dream and created a strategy that saved an entire nation from famine. This is a key principle. Don't chase money, chase wisdom, because wisdom will teach you how to create, multiply, and sustain wealth without losing your direction. Integrity means doing the right thing, even when it costs you. Job was described as blameless and upright. His character was his true wealth. Boaz followed legal and moral processes when redeeming Ruth. He didn't cut corners, even though he had the power to do so. In today's world, it's easy to compromise for gain, but the Bible shows us clearly, wealth built without integrity won't last. Your character is your foundation. Protect it at all costs. These men didn't ignore those in need. They responded. Job spoke about rescuing the poor, helping the fatherless, and caring for widows. Boaz went out of his way to protect and uplift Ruth, a foreigner with no support system. Compassion keeps your heart alive. Without it, wealth can make you cold and disconnected. But when you care for others, your life gains purpose beyond material success. Wealthy men in the Bible didn't just receive, they managed. Joseph stored resources during years of abundance so there would be provision during famine. Abraham managed large possessions, servants, and livestock effectively. Stewardship means understanding that what you have is entrusted to you. If you can't manage small things well, larger blessings will only create bigger problems. Discipline is what turns opportunity into lasting success. Wealth often brings influence, but also pressure. Joseph of Arimathea risked his status by standing with Jesus publicly. Abraham went to war to rescue Lot, showing boldness and responsibility. Courage is essential because doing what's right won't always be popular. But if you stand firm, your life will carry impact that goes beyond personal success. This is the foundation of everything. King Solomon began by honoring God, even building a temple for him. Zacchaeus proved his transformation by choosing righteousness over riches. Here's the truth: money is a tool, but God is the source. When money comes first, it controls you. But when God comes first, everything else falls into place. So what do we learn from all this? It's simple but powerful. These men were not great because they were rich. They were rich because they could be trusted with greatness. If you want a life of true abundance, focus on these qualities: faith, humility, generosity, wisdom, integrity, and let God shape your heart before He expands your capacity. If this message spoke to you, take a moment to reflect. Which of these traits do you need to grow in right now? Start there, because transformation doesn't happen all at once. It happens one decision at a time.